Robert Toru Kiyosaki is an American investor, businessman, self-help author, motivational speaker, financial literacy activist, and financial commentator. Kiyosaki is well known for his Rich Dad Poor Dad series of motivational books and other material published under the Rich Dad brand. He has written over 15 books which have combined sales of over 26 million copies. 3 of his books, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Rich Dad's Cashflow Quadrant, and Rich Dad's Guide to Investing, have been on number 1 on the top 10 bestseller lists simultaneously on the Wall Street Journal, USA Today and the New York Times. Rich Kid Smart Kid was published in 2001, with the intent to help parents teach their children financial concepts. He has created 3 cash flow board and software games for adults and children and is a series of Rich Dad CDs and discs. A financial literacy advocate, Kiyosaki has been a proponent of entrepreneurship, business education, investing, and that comprehensive financial literacy concepts should be taught in schools around the world. Kiyosaki also operates his own blog, acts a principal host on his YouTube channel called The Rich Dad Channel, and maintains a monthly column on Yahoo Finance writing about his business endeavors and his perspective on global economics, investing, business, world financial markets, and personal finance. Early life and career. A fourth-generation Japanese-American, Kiyosaki was born and raised in Hilo, Hawaii. He is the youngest son of educator Ralph H. Kiyosaki and Marjorie O. Kiyosaki. After graduating from Hilo High School in 1965, he attended the United States Merchant Marine Academy in New York, graduating with the class of 1969 as a deck officer, and a commission as a second LT in the U.S. Marine Corps. He served in the Marine Corps as a helicopter gunship pilot during the Vietnam War in 1972, where he was awarded the Air Medal. Kiyosaki was honorably discharged from the Marine Corps in June 1974. He sold copy machines for the Xerox Corporation as a salesperson from 1974 until June 1978. In 1977, Kiyosaki entered the retailing industry. He started a company that brought to market the first nylon and Velcro surfer wallets. The company was moderately successful, but eventually went bankrupt, as he wanted to save money on costs and did not intellectually protect the product. In the early 1980s, Kiyosaki started a business that licensed T-shirts for heavy metal rock bands such as Ma Paragraphed Lee Kra 1/4 E. The company went bankrupt in 1985. In his book You Can Choose to Be Rich, Kiyosaki said that after his bankruptcy, he became homeless and was living with his then-girlfriend Kim at the back of an old Toyota for several months before starting their own business from the ground up. In 1994, Kiyosaki left the Money and You program in Australia. With various real estate investments, Kiyosaki retired at the age of 47. In 1997, he launched Cashflow Technologies, Incorporated, a business and financial education company which owns and operates the Rich Dad and Cashflow brands. Business ventures and investments. Aside from operating the Rich Dad Company and Cashflow Technologies, Incorporated, Kiyosaki continues to operate external business ventures and various investments, since he came out of retirement in 1997. Many of these ventures are concentrated in the publishing, retail, education, mining, energy, financial market, and real estate industries. Mining. Kiyosaki bought a silver mine in South America in 2002, took a gold mining company in China public in 2002, and took public additional mines from IPOs listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange during the early 2000s. In 2009, Kiyosaki revealed in his book Conspiracy of the Rich that he is currently working on a copper mine that is to be taken public once copper prices begin to rise in value. Precious metals and coins. Through his teenage years, Kiyosaki dabbled with silver and gold coins as a starting investment during the 1960s. In a July 2005 Yahoo Finance article, Kiyosaki stated that, "If you only have a few dollars, you may want to go to your local coin dealer and buy silver and gold coins as close to the price of gold or silver as possible. I would not invest in collectible precious metal coins unless you really know a good collectible coin from a bad one." For as little as $20 you can buy a few precious metal coins and begin to take steps to prepare for one of the biggest crashes in world history. Kiyosaki states that he is a gold bug, meaning that he holds various commodities such as gold and silver to hedge against government misprinting of the US dollar as a fiat currency since the early 1970s when President Richard Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. Real estate. Kiyosaki is an active real estate investor, and a large portion of his wealth came from real estate investing. He has various real estate investments, real estate development ventures, and property management ventures operating around the United States, such as Texas and Oklahoma, particularly in his home state of Arizona. Many of his holdings include hotels, golf courses, and large apartment complexes as stated in an interview with The Alex Jones Show in 2010. He told Jones that he makes around $2 million a month tax-free, from all his investments. Starting with small residential real estate investments back in 1973, Kiyosaki began investing in small condos on the island of Maui, making a small profit from capital gains by the mid-1970s. Kiyosaki starting his own real estate holding company in the 1980s during his tenure with Xerox and continued on with smaller real estate investments after the savings and loan crisis in the 1986 Tax Reform Act hit the United States in the early 1990s, where much foreclosure investment real estate was sold for pennies on the dollar. After progressing with smaller real estate investments, Kiyosaki moved into the commercial real estate business, branching off into semi-large apartment complexes, with a large portion concentrated in Arizona and the southwestern United States, and retired in 1994. Since coming out of retirement in 1997, Kiyosaki remains involved with the apartment business and stated in an interview with Jason Hartman in 2011, that he owns over 1,400 units of apartment houses. Kiyosaki has been involved with commercial real estate sectors such as investing in warehouses, triple net lease and real estate development ventures around the United States. Oil wells and natural gas. Kiyosaki has stated in a Rich Dad video, several interviews, and on a number of Yahoo Finance articles that he owns oil drilling operations and oil wells around the United States, but does not invest in oil company shares such as ExxonMobil or BP. Solar company. In a 2010 Rich Dad Insiders video, Kiyosaki stated that he invested in a startup solar energy company. Financial market. In his book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Kiyosaki mentioned achieving consistent 16% ROI through tax lien certificates. Written in a chapter of Rich Dad's Prophecy, Kiyosaki states of having invested in various government tax-free bonds such as municipal bonds and municipal mortgage REITs offered by real estate development companies paying over 12% tax-free dividend interest. Kiyosaki has also stated in interviews that he does not invest or play the stock market, much like the fact that he does not invest in oil company stocks. Instead, Kiyosaki trades stock options, forex currencies, and other derivatives in the financial markets as stated in a chapter written in his book, Rich Dad's Prophecy, and in a 2009 interview with real estate investor John Hartman. Kiyosaki has mentioned investing in hedge funds, private placements, and other various funds such as private equity funds, typically investments reserved by SEC law only for millionaires or high-income individuals. Written in a chapter of Rich Dad's Prophecy, Kiyosaki also states that he invests in IPOs and developing small-cap stocks. Some of the various companies he has invested in include a consumer products company, a silver company, an oil company that eventually went bankrupt, and a gold company. Kiyosaki is involved in the commodity market where he invests in gold and silver commodities as well as gold and silver ETFs, as written in chapter of his 2008 book, Rich Dads, Increase Your Financial IQ. He stated this for the reason that he uses commodities as a hedge against uncertain economic forces such as inflation and hyperinflation as well as government's mismanagement via printing of the nation's currency. Financial advice. Kiyosaki's teachings focus on what he calls financial education, generating passive income by means of investment opportunities, such as real estate investments, businesses and commodities, with the ultimate goal of being able to support oneself by such investments alone and thus achieving true financial independence without working for a paycheck. Kiyosaki defines the term assets as things that generate cash inflow, such as stock dividends, rental properties, or businesses, and the term liabilities as things that use cash, such as houses, cars, and so on. Kiyosaki argues that financial leverage is critically important in becoming rich, despite the inherent financial risks, instability, insecurity, repercussions, and pitfalls that come with it. Originally self-published before being picked up commercially to become a bestseller, the central concept of the book is an anecdotal comparison of his two fathers. His poor dad was his biological father, who was highly educated and became superintendent of the Hawaii State Department of Education but was poor. Contrasted with this is his rich dad, who was his best friend's father who became the richest man in Hawaii by investing his smaller income into income-producing investments, and was a high school dropout. Its main purpose as a self-help book is to help people rethink their idea of money and their concept of themselves as employees who will gain financial rewards from conformity and education. Kiyosaki uses the rich dad, poor dad comparison to illustrate his view that the majority of people are stuck in what he refers to as the rat race, living paycheck to paycheck and spending all of their time working to pay bills and other expenses. In his books, Kiyosaki advocates tax-advantaged investment vehicles, such as real estate or businesses, rather than ownership of securities such as stocks and mutual funds. This idea is further developed in his later books, and Rich Dad became Kiyosaki's personal brand for various publishing ventures. Kiyosaki stresses the importance of financial literacy through the acquisition of he calls assets as the means to obtaining wealth. He says that life skills are often best learned through experience and that there are important lessons not taught in school. He says that formal education is primarily for those seeking to be employees or self-employed individuals, and that this is an industrial age idea. In order to obtain financial freedom, one must be either a business owner, an investor, or both generating passive income, particularly on a monthly basis. Kiyosaki stresses the importance of entrepreneurship and focusing on looking for business opportunities instead of jobs, the importance of turning earned income into passive and portfolio income, and learning to read financial statements. With regards to business, Kiyosaki states that roughly 80% of the very rich became rich through building a business, stressing the study the basics of business and entrepreneurship such as learning how to sell, brand and market in order to be a rich investor and good business owner, or to know what a business owner knows. Kiyosaki often refers to the Cashflow Quadrant, a conceptual tool which he developed to categorize the four major ways income is earned. Depicted in a diagram, this concept entails four groupings, split with two cross lines. In each of the four groups there is a letter representing a way in which an individual may earn income. The letters are as follows. E. Employee working for someone else. S. Self-employed or small business owner where a person owns his own job and is his own boss. B. Business owner a person who owns a business to make money. Typically where the owner's physical presence is not required. I. Investor investing money in order to receive a larger income in the future or analyzes other businesses as potential investments. For those on the left side of the divide, Kiyosaki says that they may never obtain true wealth. Conversely, those on the right side of the divide are supposedly following the only road to true wealth. Kiyosaki also classifies the four main asset classes as means of gaining wealth: businesses that generate monthly cash flow that don't require the owner's physical presence. Real estate such as owning warehouses, small family homes, or apartment houses that generate monthly cash flow. Paper assets, investments such as stocks, bonds, hedge funds etc. Commodities, gold, silver, iron ore, or copper that are used to hedge governments' mismanagement printing of the nation's currency. Kiyosaki wrote in one column that investors in any mutual fund with a 2.5% annual fee would, over a long time period, surrender 80% of the earnings to the fund. Kiyosaki expanded on his criticism of mutual funds in another column by stating they are for losers. despite the fact that most mutual funds actually charged less than 1.1%. He has drawn much criticism for comparing investing in mutual funds to playing the lottery, and for discouraging 401k investing, contrary to the advice of most professional financial advisors. In contrast to these statements, Kiyosaki wrote in his book Prophecy that while mutual funds are not great investments, they remain one of the few acceptable investment vehicles available to those who will not educate themselves financially. Kiyosaki's criticisms are supported by the founder of the mutual fund Vanguard, John C. Bogle. In a Frontline episode titled 401ks, The New Retirement Plan, for Better or Worse, Bogle stated that management fees and trading costs gobble up approximately 2.5% of an investor's annual returns and approximately 80% of an investor's long-term gains. He says management costs reduce the value of a $1,000 investment over 65 years from approximately $140,000 at 8% compounded annually to a mere $30,000 at 5.5% compounded annually. Bogle's solution is to utilize index funds, which charge as little as 0.09%, to substantially reduce or eliminate management fees. Kiyosaki advocates the value of games, particularly Monopoly, as tools for learning basic financial strategies such as trade for greenhouses for One Red Hotel. Kiyosaki has created several games such as Cashflow 101 and Cashflow 202 to reinforce the information in his book. Media appearances. Many local stations of the public broadcasting service, including WTTW of Chicago, KAET of Phoenix, KOCE of Orange County, California, WLIW of the New York-New Jersey area, and WGBH of Boston, featured Kiyosaki with his now cancelled Rich Dad TV series. His latest TV special was a fundraising drive. During this television special, Rich Dad's Guide to Wealth with Robert Kiyosaki, he provides viewers with financial education, opposing the common notion of getting a college degree and downplaying the importance of attaining academic or professional education to achieve financial success. Kiyosaki acts as a financial commentator and has given financial advice on network television news channels such as on CNBC, Fox Business, and Bloomberg. He has appeared on programs such as The Oprah Winfrey Show, Fox and Friends, Larry King Live, The O'Reilly Factor, The Alex Jones Show, Glenn Beck, and Your World with Neil Cavuto. In 2002, a speech given by Kiyosaki became the subject of a CNN story. In 2006, Kiyosaki appeared on CNBC, discussing financial issues, answering questions from the audience, and comments by the financial experts were also invited. In particular, Kiyosaki also filled in a few episodes under the title The Millionaire Inside Debt Free and The Millionaire Inside, Get Inspired. Other financial experts accompanied Kiyosaki, including David Bach, Jennifer Openshaw, Larry Winget, Keith Ferrazzi, and Dr. Laura Morgan Roberts. In 2009, Kiyosaki was featured in a 10-question session in Time magazine. Kiyosaki has criticized other financial gurus, particularly the financial teachings of Suze Orman and Gene Chartsky, calling it bad advice. Orman responded to Kiyosaki's attacks via Twitter and the two engaged in a Twitter war in March 2010. Personal life. Kiyosaki has three younger siblings, Emi Kiyosaki, John Kiyosaki, and Beth Kiyosaki. Emi Kiyosaki is a Tibetan Buddhist nun known by the name Ven. Tenzin Kacho. He has co-authored one book with Tenzin Kacho called Rich Brother, Rich Sister. Kiyosaki's mother, a nurse, died suddenly of heart failure in March 1971. His father, a schoolteacher and a longtime smoker, died of lung cancer in 1991. Kiyosaki divorced his first wife, named Janet, in 1981. In late 1983, Kiyosaki met Kamea. He pursued her for 6 months until they finally started dating in February 1984. They were married in November 1986, in La Jolla, CA. Kim Kiyosaki is now an entrepreneur, investor, author, and motivational speaker. The Kiyosakis have lived in the Scottsdale area in Phoenix, Arizona since 1994. Controversy. Kiyosaki's books and teachings have been criticized for focusing on anecdotes and containing little in the way of concrete advice on how readers should proceed. Kiyosaki responds that his material is meant to be more of a motivational tool to get readers thinking about money rather than a step-by-step guide to wealth. He also says the books are supposed to be interesting to people, which precludes involving a lot of technical material. In 2010, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation investigated the Rich Dad seminars associated with Kiyosaki on their consumer advocacy program, Marketplace. They found that one-day free seminars were conducted at which 3-day courses were offered for $500. At the 3-day classes, participants were offered longer courses priced between $12,000 and $45,000. A hidden camera was employed at a $500 seminar in Kitchener, Ontario, showing the trainer, Mark Musso, advising participants to request that their credit card limits be raised and giving out scripts with instructions on how to ask for limits as high as $100,000. The show interviewed Bob Barron, a lawyer whose practice is 90% real estate law, who said that some of Musso's advice was unusual and unlikely to work, such as advising that a developer might give 2 condos free when selling 10, getting an option to buy the house at a later date, and buying a house in pre-foreclosure. The program also found a claim by the trainer to be untrue. He claimed to have been part of a deal that made $32 million on a mobile home park in Saskatchewan, but the park did not exist. The instructor was described as overbearing, obnoxious, and rude by an attendee, after showing video footage of his behavior. When questioned about the findings of the program, Kiyosaki said he too was unhappy about how the company running the seminars, Quadrant Learning, was conducting them and that these were not the first complaints he had heard. He promised to look into the problems and said they would serve as ammunition I need in his continuing to pressure them, and constantly saying to Quadrant Learning that he is unhappy with them. He claims not to have known how severe it was at the time of partnering with them that Quadrant Learning had such a checkered past. "I am more upset than you are. I really am," he told the interviewer, "it disturbs me. It's not my fault." On August 20, 2012, one of Kiyosaki's companies, Rich Global LLC, filed for bankruptcy in Wyoming bankruptcy court. The move followed a ruling by a U.S. District Court jury that former business partners of Kiyosaki were entitled to $23,687,957.21 of the profits from events they helped to set up for Kiyosaki, including a 2002 appearance at New York's Madison Square Garden. A spokesman for Kiyosaki asserted that the amount of the award exceeded the value of Rich Global LLC and that Kiyosaki would not use money from outside the company to meet the judgment. Bibliography: Kiyosaki is best known for his book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Kiyosaki followed with Rich Dad's Cashflow Quadrant and Rich Dad's Guide to Investing. He has now had at least a dozen books published, including If You Want to Be Rich and Happy, Don't Go to School, Ensuring Lifetime Security for Yourself and Your Children. ISBN 0-944031-38-2. Rich Dad Poor Dad Euro, What the Rich Teach Their Kids About Money Euro That the Poor and Middle Class Do Not. Warner Business Books. ISBN 0-446-67745-0. Cashflow Quadrant, Rich Dad's Guide to Financial Freedom. ISBN 0-446-67747-7. Rich Dad's Guide to Investing, What the Rich Invest In, That the Poor and the Middle Class Do Not. ISBN 0-446-67746-9. The Business School for People Who Like Helping People. ISBN 97922-67-42-9. Euro endorses multi-level marketing, Rich Dad's Rich Kid, Smart Kid, Giving Your Children a Financial Head Start. ISBN 0-446-67748-5. Rich Dads Retire Young, Retire Rich. ISBN 0-446-67843-0. Rich Dad's Prophecy, Why the biggest stock market crash in history is still cooming the euro and how you can prepare yourself and profit from it. Warner Books. ISBN 0-641-62241-4. Rich Dad's The Business School, for people who like helping people. ISBN 979-686-729-X. Rich Dad Our Euro Unregistered Trademark S Success Stories, You Can Choose to Be Rich 12 CD audio series with 3 books. Rich Dads Who Took My Money? Why Slow Investors Lose and Fast Money Wins. ISBN 0-446-69182-8. Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teens, The Secrets About Money, a Euro That You Don't Learn in School. ISBN 0-446-69321-9. Rich Dads Before You Quit Your Job, 10 Real-Life Lessons Every Entrepreneur Should Know About Building a Multi-Million-Dollar Business. ISBN 0-446-69637-4. Rich Dad's Escape from the Rat Race, a Euro comic for children, Why We Want You to Be Rich, 2 Men, 1 Message, co-written with Donald J. Trump. ISBN 1-933914-02-5. Rich Dads Increase Your Financial IQ, Get Smarter with Your Money. ISBN 0-446-50936-1. Rich Dad's Conspiracy of the Rich, The 8 New Rules of Money. ISBN 0-446-55980-6, Rich Dad's Rich Brother Rich Sister, co-written with Kiyosaki, The Real Book of Real Estate, Real Experts. Real Stories. Real Life. ISBN 1-4587-7250-0. An Unfair Advantage, The Power of Financial Education. ISBN 1-61268-010-0. Midas Touch, Why Some Entrepreneurs Get Rich and Why Most Don't, co-written with Donald J. Trump. ISBN 1-61268-095-X. Why A Students Work for C Students and Why B Students Work for the Government, Rich Dad's Guide to Financial Education for Parents. ISBN 978-1682612680767. Notes. References. External links, official website, Robert Kiyosaki blog, Hawaii Business Magazine June 2002 cover story on Kiyosaki.